Warhammer 40,000 is something which has piqued my interest for quite a long time. Every time I find myself regurgitating some videos of the lore of Warhammer, I end up digging Warhammer even more. And I'm shocked at the fact that our corporate overlords sitting in Hollywood haven't taken this great IP and made some garbage or trash out of it. However, gaming studios still have a little bit of a spine and they don't know exploitation as good as Hollywood, so we do have a pretty darn good game in Space Marine 2, which is what we're talking about today.
Nothing will survive our wrath.
This is obviously a sequel from the first Space Marine, which came out in the age-old time of 2011. It's been 13 years since the sequel was made. I don't know why it took so long. Pretty sure it had to do with licenses and all that. But now we have it. You are thrust into the universe of Warhammer 40k as Lieutenant Titus. Lieutenant Demetrian Titus, I believe, is the full name. Really cool names in this game. There's Captain Acheran, there's Lord Marneus Calgar, your colleagues are called Chiron and Gadriel. Really cool names over here as well. The previous game came out on the PS3. I played this on a PS5. The story goes as such. Bugs, lots of bugs, known as Tyranids, are threatening the way of our life. And what do we do when that happens? We go and kill them. That's basically the entire game. Part of what intrigued me about this game was obviously the gameplay and how it harkened back to an older time. I guess also the genericness of how games used to be back then. Remember when Gears of War, every game was a Gears of War copy? I do miss Gears of War quite a lot. So it's nice to play a game like this where you're just pretty OP, you're just murdering people, you have a chain sword which you can cut people with. You have a power sword as well, which you can cut people with. There's a big gigantic hammer, not called the Warhammer, of course, which you can just crush bugs with. All a lot of fun. We also have a medium variety of handheld weapons. One of my favorites was the Melta rifle and the multi-Melta. Guess what the Melta rifles do? It's in the name, people. So you can play the campaign in two ways, either in single player or in online co-op where your friends can join in, which is quite a lot of fun. But if you're playing in single player, you'll be joined by two NPCs who are Chiron and Gadriel, as I said earlier. The game has its moments where it really over-delivers. One thing which I was not expecting from this game was how good the boss fights were. I played this game on normal difficulty and then I played it again on hard difficulty. There is a massive difference in those two difficulties. I found myself getting knocked down quite a bit more. And the final boss, Imura, I struggled quite a bit there. I liked that the boss fights were beefy, they had big health bars, and you had to work to get them. Very nicely done. However, there is a flip side to this coin as well, as there are multiple moments in the game where we're about to reach the zenith of adrenaline and it's just taken away from you way too early. One of such moments is when you're given a jetpack to use in the game, which introduces verticality quite nice in the game's map. However, it's taken away from you, like 10-15 minutes in. And I'd be fine with that if the excuse in the narrative wasn't as stupid. You know what the excuse in the narrative was as to why you can't use those cool jetpacks in the rest of the mission? There's dust in them. And I'm sorry, that is absolutely pathetic. It made me roll my eyes in the back of my head like the friggin' Undertaker. Apparently in the year of 40,000, dust is still a killer, guys. Another great sequence in the game, which I absolutely loved, it's the sequence of the freaking game, is when you have to defend your chapter banner with your battle brothers. It is a last stand moment and all you have is a bolt pistol. It comes at you out of nowhere and it's just bang, 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 bang. There's multiple enemies on the screen. There's a Space Marine who just lost his leg being carried out back to the group. A few people die and boom, it ends way too early. That moment should have lasted longer in my eyes. The proceeding scene is pretty cool, but it's a CGI cutscene. It is when we're introduced to Lord Calgar, as I said earlier. Taking nothing away from the CGI sequences are actually really well done and very good looking, honestly. However, I need to be put in power in those sequences. How cool would it have been if you saw Lord Calgar for the first time in the game entering in your gameplay loop instead of a cutscene? There's another instance of this which happens in the endgame battle with Imura. It's a very cool battle, like I said earlier. However, the cutscene, also very cool. Like again, But that is a moment where I need to be in control, right? The cutscene has a little bit of spoilers, guys. You have to invert a dial. So Titus has to invert a dial. Give me the power to do that. I'll take a quick time event over a cutscene any day. The depiction of the universe is on point, the dialogues, the world building, the presentation is all top notch. And this passion is also carried over into the multiplayer element of this game. Now in multiplayer we get PvP and PvE. PvP is what you imagined it would be. You get 6 classes to play with in multiplayer. One of them is Assault, Vanguard, you got Bulwark, you got a Sniper, you got a Heavy, and you got a Tactical class as well. Some of the classes are a bit overpowered. I'm looking at you, Bulwark. Due to the diversity of the classes, every class has its own charm, and it's a lot of fun to play. I've played with all of them. I'm at level 13 right now. The class I spent the most time with was Sniper, because I could not for the life of me figure out how to get good. So I started spamming with the Sniper. And what you do with the Sniper is his tactical ability is the Ameliorine Cloak. I hope I said that right. Which gives you invisibility for a bit of time. And all you gotta do is go behind the guy, either stab him to death or get a headshot out on him. It's pretty nice. Overall, it's very refreshing and relaxing as well. Relaxing how? Well, there aren't 40,000 kill streaks in the air. See what I did there? You don't have those stupid dumbass executions in which the gameplay just stops. And finally, no microtransactions. But given the world we live in of over-corporatization, I believe the devs will be adding microtransactions soon into the game. The PvE element does need some work to it, and this goes into not just the quantity, but also the quality of the PvE. Maybe I'm a bit spoiled by playing a lot of Helldivers 2, but the PvE levels, we get only 6 maps, all of which can be wrapped up within 40 to 60 minutes, and then there's not much to do after that. Obviously, you can do PvE in co-op as well, which makes it a bit more fun, but a bit disappointing, honestly. But all in all, I really like this game, and I believe you guys will like it too. If you have 60 bucks lying around, feel free to blow it on this game, but the smart thing to do is to get it over a sale. I bought the Ultimate Edition. Honestly, it didn't add that much, aside from a bunch of cosmetics and skins, which are cool. I worship the drip, but you know, not worth the extra price tag. And I really think the Warhammer 40k IP should be given to more game developers, good game developers. A dream project in this universe would be a third-person RPG, the likes of a Cyberpunk, The Witcher 3, Mass Effect, or Fallout. I do not want Bethesda getting involved in this, however, but Fallout is something similar to a Fallout in this universe would be really nice. The Emperor Protects and Space Marine 2 is getting a 3.5 out of 5 from me. I've given 50 hours to this game. I hop back and forth into multiplayer every now and then. A little less now since I started Elden Ring, which is quite tough. But it's so good to be back in front of the camera, people. I hope to bring you something again much sooner than this video came. I shall be seeing you again very soon. Have a great day.